Hey everybody, Vaughn here with the Vonster blog, and welcome to day 136 of a year of yoga. We are playing with our hula hoops today because it has been so cold outside and in the house, and even though it's cold, it's like a beautiful day though. So I just wanted to get the blood flowing, the blood pumping. There are links down in the video description to where you can get the smaller size of the large hoops that I'll be using. And I'm going to try to find where y'all can find maybe one of these super mega big ones online. I cannot use this big one inside, but it's my favorite. It makes everything feel all massaged and happy. So we are going to start by trying to not hit the cat. I swear. Callie, there you go. And normally when I do this, even if I don't feel like it, I will put some music on and just be like, we're going to do 100 rotations in each direction. And if by the end of that I still don't feel like grooving, then I tried. So let's start counting now with a 1. Actually, I can probably just set a timer and have that be, it's so bright out here. Yes, a timer. Let's do a countdown. Let's do not 15 minutes. Let's do sorry, it's hard to see. Okay, we'll do 2 minutes. Okay. So now we start, you guys. Thank you all woo! Thank y'all so much for joining me here today. There we go. And if you don't have a hula hoop, you can stand in place and make hip circles and just kind of dance and groove. So let's start by just standing in place while doing this, letting the hula hoop massage our waistline and our trunk. She really trusts me. Unlike my dog, she never knew me when I was first learning how to hula hoop. The dogs in Ember know to run. Whereas Callie's like, oh, this will be fine. I hope I don't bop you, girl. And if you want to, you can add some movement in there. We can start moving our arms along with our breath. We can even come up onto our toes and lower if you want. Get some elevation change. That's quite challenging for me, so that's fun. And when our timer goes off, I hope I clicked start. Yes, we've got 30 more seconds. When the timer goes off, we'll change directions. You can stretch your arms overhead. I love using a hula hoop because it gives me a prop that I can interact with, because if it's just me, I get a little bored. Whereas if the prop's there, then suddenly I'm having to wrestle with gravity or dance with gravity and keep that prop up. Whoop. So there's that. Let us restart this. How do I click start? Oh, I can't see a dang thing. Okay, thank you. The time's up. There we go. All right, in the other direction. To the left now, which everybody tends to have a dominant side that they like to, that comes more naturally to them. And for me, that's hooping to the right. So I try to hoop to the left at least just as much, if not more, just to bring my less dominant side up so that I can flow freely in both directions. And we can really make it very saucy and move our hips a lot, or we can try to keep it very internal and see what the minimal amount of movement we can do and still get a good result. Okay, still just standing in place. shifting from side to side, or I do more of on the diagonal from forward to back. Well, it's not impossible to move into the direction that your hoop's moving. I tend to move in the same direction just because that kind of slows everything down, and you're moving with the hoop and not against it, so it's a little bit easier to keep the hoop up. Just shifting from side to side, stretching through our upper body. We could do some snake arms while we're here. Just practicing moving. It's the hula hoop version of patting your head and rubbing your stomach, or like pat in circles whilst hula hooping. It's good for the brain. But just moving your arms, doing something completely independent. And so now we're going to restart that timer, go in the other direction, and this time we are going to move. So I'm spinning to the right while hooping to the right, and I'm not moving super fast, I'm just stepping. And you can do a little bit of a march in place. Just however, a lot of your pacing is going to depend on the size of your hoop. I hoop a lot slower now that I have a bigger diameter than what I used to. So that's always a factor to take into consideration as well. But the important part is that you are up and moving and doing it and enjoying it. Whoop! Hitting stuff with your hula hoop. And I find it can really help me whenever I'm turning. Like right now I'm focusing on a tiki torch, and so I'll turn and then focus on that tiki torch again. Or let's say it's the camera. Hey everybody. And then we'll turn and my eyes come back to the camera, and that helps me to keep my dizziness down as we step and turn and do our thing. Keep going. Remembering to breathe. And again, this is so much more fun with music going, but I didn't have time to find a copyright-free playlist that I could blare in my backyard, so here we are. Let's keep that spin going if you want. Yeah, it's way more fun to set a timer. Watch out, cat. So that was our 2 minutes. Let's start the timer again and go the other way. And we are just going to be stepping as we turn. And we can make these kind of a little faster too, and move the hoop on down to our hips, if that's a place that you like to be. And that involves much more of almost a 3-point hit. I'm hitting on my sacrum and then on each of my hips as it comes around. Or you can make it bigger. If you're finding your hoops sliding down a lot, that's typically if we poke our booties out, the hoop will slide right off of it. But if we tuck our booty under and push forward more, the hoop's going to climb us. So your impulse may be to poke out that booty, but that's not the way to keep your hoop from falling. And just having this little bit of resistance to move against, I'm really feeling it in my glutes. As well as my hip flexors. I'm feeling much warmer now than what I was from just sitting. I've been doing desk work all day today, which is a ton of fun. I'm working on a new planner design. And so of course I'm like very mentally engaged with that, but sitting on the old booty does not get the blood flowing. And just keeping that hoop going. And if you drop it, just pick it back up and keep on going. And there is our 2-minute mark. I'm going to set my giant hoop off to the side, pull up my situation. There we go. And now I'm going to be using a smaller hoop to do some off the body stuff. So for 2 minutes, we are going to do very similar to how whenever we spin poi, we're going to do a propeller. So you can have that in front of you, or you can have it out to the side, or you can alternate coming forward, into the side, and forward, into the side. You can even change hands, bring both your palms together, and then now we are doing that same propeller but on our left hand. I like to go on my fingers as opposed to the bulk, like the where all the small bones are on my the back of my hand, because if I'm here on my fingers, I can have each one come up and meet the hoop. We can trade sides. We can have our arm out straight. And you may want, if you're quite new to this, to use a very lightweight hoop for this, because it can take, like whenever I was first learning how to do this, I would have bruises on my hands. But man, it really massages out. You can even bring it up onto your forearm. Let's do that and get a really nice massage. You can have it climb up to your biceps and then whoop, have it get tangled in your clothes. So just keep that hoop moving. Have it climb up your arm. When it gets to your shoulder, you can practice catching it with your hand. Let's do that same thing on the other side. So now we're here on our forearm and it's coming up to our bicep, and catch it with our hand. It's just a really nice kind of massage that just corkscrews its way up your arm. Let's do it again on the other side. So back to our right arm. Oh, and there's our timer. So I'm going to catch this, complete it on the other side. Whew. And now let's do some, oh, well, I got to reset the timer. We're going to be doing some over the head. So like a helicopter. And I like to start that out with the hoop in front of me, palm up, and we're going to swing it around and get that momentum going. And I like to do mountain pose, like really grounding through my feet, really growing up through my fingertips. And this is doing a lot with our shoulder blade. I'm going to turn, but keeping our arm up and engaged and resisting against the force of the hoop to keep it spinning is really strengthening for our rotator cuff, for like kind of the holster that our shoulder blade sits in. Now we can change directions. This time I'm going to have my hand palm down and spinning from the right to left. And then I tuck my fingers up in. It can take some practice, but don't hesitate to experiment and find what works for you. And again, the hoop's only going to hit you if you make it relaxed and it starts to work its way down your hand. If you really put some solid force behind it, it might fly off and totally wreck your situation. But for the most part, physics seem to work consistently, so you'll figure it out. It must have been warm enough today with the sun out that there are some mosquitoes flopping around, but they don't seem to be feeding, so that's good. Really feeling it in like There we are. There's the 2-minute mark. Let's get our timer reset. And now we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So palm down, swinging the hoop in front. And then let me know if you guys want to see some hooping tutorials. Because I understand this stuff does not come easy. It did not come easy to me. And there were not a whole lot of hoop tutorials back in, gosh, early 2000s when I was getting into hooping. No, it was late 2000s. It's like I started performing in like 2008. Lifetime ago. So just keep trying on focusing on, if this is making a drawing in the sky, that our hand stays in the center and then the hoop just keeps making the loops around it. And then I'm going to change direction. So now palm up, coming from right to left, I'm going to swing that hoop up and around in the other direction. And from here, you can add stepping and turning. You can be doing things with your right arm, but that's only if you feel up to it. It can also be very challenging to experience the stillness while having your whole body engaged in kind of a mountain pose with doing the helicopter with the hula hoop. Hey, Callie. Oh, my baby girl. How's it going? Let's change direction one more time. Oh, and there is the 2-minute mark. So from here, let's waist hoop with our smaller hula hoop. Did I even restart it? Yes, okay. Now with this one, spinning in the same direction as our hula hoop can do a lot to help keep that hoop up. And I certainly do a whole lot more hip hooping with my smaller hoop as it keeps trying to come down. So keep that hoop moving. You've got this. And it's okay if you go T-Rex arms. I know I do it a whole lot. If you drop the hoop, just pick it up and keep going. And also, a trick for whenever you feel the hoop slowing down or sliding down is we can actually do breaks. It's kind of like catching it, but you're catching the hoop and then sending it back in the other direction. And so sometimes if I feel my hoop getting tangled or out of alignment, I'll just sneak in a break, and then it's kind of like starting over again. Hoo-wee. Just keep it moving. There you go. Maybe sneak in a little bit of a break. It's more fun than running, I tell you that. Ooh, and that's our 2 minutes. So, whoo-wee, what is my heart rate at? If it's even registering that right now. I don't know if that's accurate. It says it's only at 110. And it's like, I know that's more than 110 right now because I can hear it in my ears. But heart rate says what the heart rate says. So definitely gets the blood moving though, you guys. So this was our, I know it's not yoga, but it's our daily dose of movement medicine. Let's actually sneak in some yoga with our hoop as a prop. Inhale, shifting our weight into the right foot. Exhale, our knee open and out, bringing our sole to our calf. Using our hoop to support our arms in tree pose. Exhaling, shifting our weight to the left. We can rotate our arms behind and then in front. Before coming back to tree pose arms, inhaling our weight into our left foot, exhaling up and open, foot to calf. And one last little bit of a back bend. And there we are, you guys. Day 136. Thank you so much for joining me here. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for another day of a year of yoga. Keep on keeping on, y'all. Bye.